Hello, everybody. This is Techstack here. Let's give it a moment for people to get in here while I send the tweet and the Discord message. So now we are live, and people know we are live. Okay, so we've got the thing working as far as looks. Hey, Jonathan, you are first today. Awesome, man. We've got it working as far as looks. You can see it's cycling up through there. I guess we will get into this XP. I was trying to avoid it, but you can see it there. It rotates through the animation, just continually lifting that up. So, that is good. Get back up here in my perch I had, where I was throwing these things out. The thing I want to do tonight is make it functional. So that's why I had the code open here. I started on it a little bit. We've got a tile entity created as far as the class is concerned. We do not, though, have it hooked into the block or anything like that. So that's what we'll have to work on, getting it actually tied in and functional. So what I did to create this tile entity class was I stole from my... Yes, Eagle, you are number 2 tonight. Oh my gosh, my Discord sounds are off. You're number 2 tonight. There we go. Jonathan beat you by quite a bit too. You're slacking, man. Anyway, it's still in the conveyor code. That's why some of this is probably a little funny. It's looking for conveyor. I haven't updated it at all yet. We will get there, and we will force those XP orbs to go towards us. Right now, I just wanted to leave the code in here that checks the bounding box for XP orbs, right? And returns a list of XP orbs. So, yeah, I was just pulling your chain, man. I understand you have like way more important things to do than watch the stream, so no concern there. So I need to figure out if this is a center block, a bottom block, or a top block, right? And I think doing that in the tile entity is the appropriate place. So let's work with this, right? So in order to check if it's the center block, we're going to set our return value to false by default. So we're going to say if this dot world dot get block state. Wait a second. We're adding chain. What do you mean by chain? It's going to be a multi-block basically, right? So you have to have all 3 blocks there for it to function. That's what this is doing. So this dot position. So dot up. So is the block above this block that we're at something? And that something, get block. What we're looking for is mod blocks dot machine exp collector. So are we an exp collector above us? And then we'll do the same for below us. So instead of up, we'll say down. And then this block needs to be an exp collector too. We can make that assumption if we're the tile entity for this block. And then we have it. Like, we need to set RAT to true then, and it just works. So the next thing we need to do is take the same code and check it for the bottom block, right? So if we're the bottom block, then 2 positions up, so up twice and up once, need to be the exp collector. And if we're the top block, then 2 positions down need to be the machine collector, XP collector. Okay, so that should work. So now we can use these to check to see which one we are. Just kind of cleaning the code up here, get rid of these extra lines so everything fits on the screen better so I can see everything. Actually, if I do save, no, it doesn't. It doesn't get rid of extra lines. Okay. So now I can say, we can run this on the center block only. And that's all we care about. We don't care about the bottom block or the top block doing this code. So if it's remote, let's see, what are we doing here? This is getting the powered block, if it is powered. Well, I'm not gonna do the powering thing. I think we're gonna leave this thing always on. You know, I'll leave it in here just in case. Tugging. Wait, what? Wait a second, we're adding chain? You said, I thought you're a chain. I was pulling your chain. That's what I was saying, I think. We're not adding chain to the mod, no. Okay, so is this the center block and it's not powered? It will run. It is checking to see if we're this kind of block. We will go there. I don't know what chain could do, and I don't know if I want to know what chain could do. We don't care about the enum facing. We do care about the block position stuff though, so we're gonna stay BP. Okay. And can we create one of these with just a bounding box and a distance? We can create one with a range, or not a range, but a that max Y. Hey Reaper. Contract. Expand, there we go. It's expanding in every direction. Doing homework at the school. Fun. Grow. Wait. What's the difference between grow and expand? Creates a new that has been contracted by the given amount in both directions. What? Negative value will shrink instead of expanding it. Side lengths will be increased by 2 times the value of the parameters. Creates a new that has been expanded by the given amount, with positive changing, increasing, and negative decreasing. Okay. Modified bounding box will always be equal to or greater in volume to this bounding box. Turns bounding box. Expands only expands in one direction. Contract only contracts in one direction. Grow, version of this that is expands in all direction from one parameter. You're crying about your tractors and your cranes building a house? This isn't making sounds again. I think this is the one we want. We want to do grow. Hey, blue boy. How's it going? Does that work? It does. Awesome. So then we can say dot grow, and there's a one with a single value. There is. That's to create one that expands in the same amount in every direction. I don't know if we want that though. Because what we want is the one that goes 2 in the X coordinate, 1 along the Y, and 2 along the Z. Okay. And if we're not an XP collector, we don't care, because it will always be an XP collector, or should be. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Oh wait, that was still needed. Get rid of this part of it. Didn't work on the grader today, but opened the file with intensive working on it. I've been there before and had one of those days before. I know what you're talking about. Okay, so that's nice and tight looking code. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is right now we're going to try and move the entity by processing it in this list, right? So we don't have a direction that we're moving it in yet because we're not a conveyor on this. So first, let's get rid of this enum facing. The machine would you like to see done next after the grader? I mean, if you want to finish the semi-tractor, that'd be awesome. That way we can polish that off and get that working, I think, right? It would help motivate me to make it work. The bagger would be a good one too. Not the bagger. Anything but the bagger. Please, sir. Okay, so need to get rid of that. I need to get rid of all that, and I need to set these XY coordinates. We don't care about the should lift stuff, so anything in between there is gone. That means the Y is gone, and then we're just moving, right? So we need to set our motion in the proper direction. Yeah, I understand, man. And I don't know that the bagger is going to have to be limited. It won't be to scale with the real world compared to other machines. It can't be. It can't be any bigger than what it is now. It's too big of an entity as it is. Eagle, that's a new machine. We want to do the machines we've got already first. And Blue Boy has a valid point. That's basically the same thing. So let's get some type of target location defined, right? So we need to we want to move all the XP orbs. Get the game up here so I can show what the heck? FTB loading? How is that loading? Why is it loading? Okay, whatever. So we want to take the XP orbs that are on this side and move them towards the center. The ones that are out here, move them towards the center, and so on, right? But we also want to take the XP orbs on the ground and move them up. And we want to move them faster than what a player moves them. And when they're within a certain range of the actual block center, we want to ingest them, if you will, right? Yeah, so we'll do it this way. So our target needs to be the center position. And the center position is going to be our XYZ coordinate of this block plus 0.5. Right? Because the blocks in the world, their coordinates are always full integers, right? So I am at approximately the center of that block's where I'm looking, right? So I'm at 1759.5 and 269.5 approximately. But I'm looking at 1760 and 269. The 60 ones there got me a little concerned. We'll just try it. We might have to deal with negatives needing a... No, if I add 0.5 to that, That would make it smaller. That'd work. Okay. So target. Let's do this. Double tx equals this dot position dot get x plus 0.5 d, I guess, because I'm doing doubles for some reason instead of floats, but whatever. And then we'll do that for the y and the z. Y, z. Okay, and we've already got a way of getting the movement speed. Okay, so move speed. And we'll set x, y, and z not to 0 in this case. We will set them instead to the values coming off of the entity itself. Okay. This, our entity, dot get x dot position x, y, and z. Okay, why is this one not happy? It's like a different color. Maybe it's this error message. There we go. Weird that it affected it up here, but whatever. So next, with this we can get a target and this, so we can get a direction for each one of these, right? I want to scale it to a value of 1 though. So if I take tx minus x, that'll give us some number, positive or negative. That's the distance that we need to go. If we divide that by itself, let me think this through here. Nope, calculator. So if we got a negative, where's my calculator? Awesome, it's not moving. It's off my screens and I can't move it. Awesome. Can I just close it? And start again. There we go. So if we did a value of 5, where's my negative at? 5 negative divided by 5 negative gives us positive, so that won't work. We can just test if it's positive or not. That'll do. So we'll say dx equals x minus tx. Do it that way. Double dy equals ty minus y. Double dz equals tz minus z. And then we'll say if dx is greater than 0, dx equals move speed. Get move speed. Alright, because we want it to be positive in that case. Else dx, we need to do if, right? So we don't want to move it if it's at 0. Dx is less than 0. Then we'll do that negative. And we do the same for Y and Z. Y. Okay. And then we say dx, dy, and dz. Okay, and then we need to tell the game that that is the penalty for this block, so we still are actually adding a different one. So let's go ahead and close this out. And on our block, exp collector, there we go. We need to call it that instead. Okay, and then somewhere in our proxy, I believe it is, we register the tiles. Can't remember. That's only if it has a special renderer. Never mind. So we're good. We don't have a special renderer on this one. So let's run it, see what happens. So there's a good chance that we'll actually be repelling these, because I didn't really think through which direction it needs to be, the order of operation on those adding and subtracting. I just threw something in there. So we'll see. Looks like we're moving them towards. And notice that when they're out in that white area, they don't move. But when they're in the black, they do. Wow. Now it's not lifting them for some reason. And they're teleporting back because of some bug, but we'll figure that out. But they are moving towards the spots that I want to move them to. It's just they're on the bottom instead of up there. So let's take a look at the Y code and see what's up with that. Maybe we're pushing them down by mistake. If the delta Y, so if our Y target is greater than, so let's say it's at 10 and these are at 2, that'd be a delta of 8. That is greater than 0. So we would set our delta Y to a positive value. And we would want it to do that in that case. Okay, so that tells me that our move speed is too low. So let's go here and increase our move speed to 0.2 then. We also can look at the conveyor. And in the conveyor's code, if it should lift this stuff, we save the Y position, set the fall distance to 0 and the Y motion to 0 on the entity. We need to do that as well on this because we don't want them to continue to fall. We don't want gravity applied to them, basically, right? Here it is. Okay, now then. There we go. Now they're getting sucked up where they're supposed to be. What happens if we get close to it? We can still pull them off of it. That's okay. Let's actually reload the game too, because that'll give them the move speed of 2 then, instead of 0.1. So they're gonna move much faster now. Not liking the teleporting around of it. I don't think the conveyors had that issue though, right? Let's take a look. So maybe there's something inside the conveyor code I'm missing here. Teleported a little bit when they're at the end there, but on the conveyor though, they're not moving. You know what we could do is this. If this dot world is remote, is not remote, and when you first need to go if this dot world is not null, because when the world first loads it's null. And I'm gonna put myself on do not disturb, I think, on Discord, because that's getting very, very dingy. Okay, there we go. And try it now. World is not null and world is remote. So it should be only on the server that we're moving it then. Interesting. So are those not synced with the client automatically? Like all the rest of the entities in the game? Normally you'd only move it on the server. It may not be much of an issue, to be honest, because they're gonna fly into the thing and get absorbed by it at the next step. What I am seeing a problem is the bouncing up and down. They need to go directly to it. So we need to say what? We need to set this to the min between the two of these. How am I gonna do that? So math helper dot clamp. What's the number we're clamping? We're clamping the movement speed between the movement speed is the the dx is the max in this case, and the movement speed is the min. And then on this one, we're going negative with it, so we're taking that negative movement speed and then negative there. So it's less than 0 if the movement speed is greater than dx, which would be a negative. We want to make it dx. Yeah, so that's right. So basically we need to insert this in front of all these. And then take whatever that value is and insert all this. We'll come back with the negatives. Papa Blue, please redo bagger right now. It's a block almost. Yes, it is bad. I created it. I take full responsibility for the ugliness. Pretty sure that's one I did, isn't it, Blue Boy? I'm doing this wrong, aren't I? It's not DX on all those, it's D whatever. Okay, that's better. Less shaky. Okay, let's look at the conveyor code. Yeah, I seen your models. You definitely know how to make them. The problem is, can you make them look like Minecraft stuff, right? And you'd have to basically do them in Blockbench now is what we're finding is pretty good. Or Blender, but make them look Minecrafty if they're in Blender with a texture on them. And the texture has to be in one single texture for the whole model. Your models didn't look like trash, man. Not at all. Is it because it's an XP orb and XP orbs don't like to be used by move? Oh, it could be. Like I made the UFO for a resource pack and I made a custom Star Wars helmet for MC. Oh, cool. There's piston type, self, player. I think that's it. Okay, let's do this. We know that we're on an XP orb only. And XP orbs smoothly move towards the player. So how do they do that? It sets its previous position, its motion. That could be it too. We might need to set the motion. Override with this still. So that does move self, it's also. Okay, so let's go back to our code. And set entity.motion x equals 0 and z equals 0. Still shaking. Come on, give me all the XP. Last position. Hey, Fire.
Hey, Dick.
Make your models in Blockbench to use Java block item option or the modded entity. I use the Java block because I'm just exporting them out to whatever I want. So I didn't do the entities though. I've been doing blocks. Let me check what it does for this first. Let me check some. Java block item. Yeah, so you can export to an OBJ file. That's all we have to do when we're all done. I don't know what the entity option does. I don't know that it does anything. So we would want to save it as I want OBJs. When I'm done, for all the machines, I need an OBJ file. I need an OBJ file with a single texture that's UV mapped to that single texture. I used to use Blender to do all of that. So if you're familiar with Blender and like to use that, that would work. We're talking through some stuff, right?
What?
We're talking through some stuff. Fusion's asking about how the models are done because he knows how to do models too.
Oh, nice.
What the heck is it doing that for? Hey, Fusion. Wait, do you have the rights? Yeah, you do. Oh, wait, you're way quiet, man. My music louder? No, it's way down. Let me turn you up. Try now, Fusion.
Any better now?
Only slightly, because I turned you to 200% volume. My wife's saying the internet's messing up, but I know I'm on the internet. So, you guys can hear me.
Tell her it's just a figment of her imagination.
Might need to go help her real quick. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna nip this in the butt now. I'm probably just gonna reset the device she's using. I'll be right back, guys.
Alright.
Alright, can you hear me any better now?
Yes.
I had to talk right up close to my microphone. Oh, shit, that didn't pick it up for some reason.
The artist I'll never be. Stay with me and I have no doubt you'll make a painting that makes you proud.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello.
Hello. That's much better.
Yeah,
So-
that's getting right up close to the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Talk, I guess.
So what were you trying to say?
Yeah, just to clarify, because I have family over and I couldn't hear. You want an OBJ?
Yes, OBJ files are what I will export it to. If you're gonna make it in Blender or you're gonna make it in the Blockbench tool, I would prefer to have the source file so that if I have to go change something, I can use that tool to change it instead of only working with the OBJ file. And then I can export it to OBJ file, no big deal.
All right, that's fine.
So, thank you. Okay, so why are these shaking? I have a feeling like it's them trying to move themselves, but why would they move left and right? Let's try setting their motion to the DX as well. Or DY in this case. DX, DZ. Okay. Let's only do it on the server because I still think that's valid. This .world is remote. It's not remote. And they stop getting lifted altogether. So there's 1, 2, 3 XP orbs. Three XP orbs. So those were actually the ones that were there. The heck? Okay, now they fling up there. It is true, it's the slave, which is the client. So only doing this processing on the server doesn't get them to move, but doing it only on the client makes them shake because it's not actually updated on the server. And doing it on both still shakes, but maybe... Man, they're pretty bad still. So it's doing the motion. Here we're moving towards the closest player here. So, where's their eyes? Getting a distance value with the square root piece. It's like normalizing it, basically. Okay. Motion X, Y, and Z, and then it's just setting the mover to that motion X, Y, and Z. This is on the entity class. No. So the bleak crystal doesn't move entities at all. This is just updating the motion values. Where's the setting closest player, by the way? Nice. Get closest player to this entity, okay. Can you also have it so if the crystals absorb too much XP, they explode? That's a possibility, but I probably won't do that because that's kind of going to break what I had in mind. Anything is possible. If you code long enough. Wait a minute, let's check that. Are we... Oops. I mean like armor, like level 10 or what? What you talking about, Reaper? Okay, there's no error messages around moving too fast or anything. Let's check if we move the move speed down. It might be it's too fast a movement forward or something. Let's restart the level. Oh, they still do it every once in a while. I mean, if we absorb them, it's okay. It's just weird to me. Okay, so let's check about how we can absorb them. So this is all the movement stuff. We've got a DX and a DZ and a DY here, so how much we need to move to make it to the target, right? So if math helper .abs, yes, takes a float for real. .abs. What's floor? If value is greater than 0, then it gives you value. If value is, otherwise it gives you negative value plus 1d. The heck? Okay, let's convert those to floats so that it works. Like the regular one. Float. So this isn't enchanting stuff for you, Reaper, if that's what you're thinking. That is in a double. Fine, we'll do it that way. If dx is less than 0.551, okay. It's less than 0.51 and dyx is greater than We'll do that for all of them. Let's do this though. So double distance equals 0.51 d. And we'll say distance instead of 0.51 d on all these. Okay. And y, z, z. Okay, and then we'll say entity dot set dead. Okay, we'll worry about absorbing the XP next. Oh, I bet that's what's wrong. It's my tick rate of this move versus the move of the entity. I bet that's what it is. Okay, but now we've got things just dying automatically. Unless it's on this side of it. So if x is less than distance and greater than negative distance, right now it's not doing anything. It's no storage. I haven't coded for it, but it will have storage in it, yes. It's not just going to keep the XP orbs floating next to it. It's going to absorb them all, and we'll have a GUI or something on it or some mechanism to pull the XP back out of it. This is just for me getting the visual looks right now. Very interesting. We can just do the distance calculation, I guess, because that's not actually a distance, it's just a single coordinate. I've got something wrong here is the problem. Is it bringing it in, but has no place to take it? Correct, it's just killing the XP right now. Storing the XP is a matter of setting up one variable and adding to that variable. That's like super simple for me to code that. Because there's a property on the entity of the XP orb that says how much it stores. And we already looked that up on the infusion of the crystals stuff. So, do I have a math helper that will tell me distance already, or do I have to tell it by square rooting it? Math dot distance, nope, square root 2. No, there's nothing there. Distance 3D space. That page is too hard to read. It's too small text. Pretty sure it's like 0.1 minus 0.2 squared. Yeah, it is. Okay. So it's the same as 2D distance. x1 minus x2, which is what we're doing here. Get our dx. We just need to square that and add all the squares together and do the square root of that. Cool. So dx to the second power. I think that's how you do it in Java. Second power. This also works. Times dx dy times dy plus dz times dz. Okay. And that will give us a value for distance. And this is distance squared effectively. So we can save ourselves a calculation by doing the distance check on the distance squared. Because to do a true distance, we need to do a square root of that, but I don't care, because if it's 0.5, we can just figure out what the square of 0.5 is, which is 0.5 times 0.5, 0.25. Really? One squared is 1. Point 0.5 to the second. Yeah, it's 0.25. Okay, I'll do square root on it, just to be sure. Math, helper, dot square, root. So that'll give us our distance. And then we just say one single value if distance is greater than or less than 0.5 d. Ta-da! Let's do absolute on that. It's greater than 0 and distance less than 0.5. Else, or distance is less than 0 and distance is greater than negative 0.5 d. Hey Reaper.
There.
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 I'm so confused. Let's step through the code. So it already thinks it's closer. What the heck? What is distance? 0.17. How is that 0.17? 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. What the heck? dx, dy, dz. All because we're clamping it to... Okay, I get it now. So we need to know the pre-clamped version of this. So we can move this up here. And that should fix it. So right now our distance is 0.76 on something that is visually very close. .2. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of all the XP orbs in there. Let's toss one there. Okay, those are stuck, but they should be disappearing, but they're not. One, two, okay. Okay, that check needs to be on the server. So this, if this dot world is remote, if it is not remote, so it's on the server, we'll do the distance check. Set up the data. Get rid of this powered check right now. See if that's part of the issue. The heck?
Bear? So what you doing?
Trying to
Guessing
make
you're
the
fixing
XP
the-
collector work. False. This is not the server. Okay, so it is the client thread. Is something paused and I didn't realize it on the server side? Nope. It's always the client. Ow. Okay, let's do this. Let's close the game all the way out. Let's do clean. Because something is funny here and it doesn't make any sense at all. Let's make sure Eclipse isn't being goofy on me. Restart the game. While this loads, we are one away from 350. Woohoo! I took a blue boy. Turn that one off. should be a breakpoint being hit, but there's not. Why? Why is it only doing this on the client? Come up there. So this world is false. Thank you, Blue Boy. Trying to make it function now, and that's turning out to be the harder part so far. Thought it'd be super simple, but it's not. So far. It's tickable. Why does this server not know about this? There's something... Function. Trying to make it work properly. Do things. I think I missed registering the talent somewhere or something, because this is crazy. Int. Oh my gosh. I bet I know what it is. Let's try that. Run this. Let's block all these. Do this. Okay, there. Now. Let me into the game.
You can do it.
I might be able to do it. We need to break it all.
I believe in you.
I'm glad you do. Someone does. So set block at this location, machine machine exp collector 1 2. Okay, now let's throw XP at it and turn this on. And we're false still. That's okay. It might still. True. Haha. Figured it out. Bingo. So because I had created those blocks with the old tile entity, somehow the server was still having that old tile entity here instead of the new one, causing this issue. So that also means that I could probably go back in here and say not this dot world dot is remote and is the center block. So we'll only move them on the server now, and hopefully that makes it okay. Are we running everything? We're running everything. It's trying to pick them up now. They're flopping back down.
Lower it a level or two.
Or what? It's not the issue. Trust me, it's not the problem. Save. Still not the
Wait,
issue.
what was that? To say it?
They still travel towards me. It's flickering around up there, but it's not re-going back to the ground anymore.
Oh,
No, it's still doing it. What's our distance at? .75. 7-7 then. Okay, we're killing lots of them. Good. That's more like it. Something about it jumping. Let's just make it a full one and be done. Spending too much time on this. Okay, so now can I somehow test this out better? There we go. So from that distance to that corner. Text, see the grader pic I just posted. Okay, just a minute. Don't worry about the new grader being smaller. It'll work out correctly. Okay. As long as the blade position or the blade size is approximately the same, that's all that really matters. So we can place or break the same amount of blocks. Okay, let's check this out first. Okay, so here it is, stream. So the gray one's the new one, or the yellow one's the new one, Blue Boy? Gray's got to be the new one. Right? It looks more complicated. Yeah, I'm okay with the height being different. The blade position's in the same spot. And it looks like if you're doing the wheels, they're about the same, unless this wheel is the last wheel, and that's fine. Oh wait, that is the last wheel. I get it now. The gray one's the new one. Okay. The blade's definitely shorter, but is it same width? So what? So half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide about, right? And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. Dude, as long as it's 5 wide, it should be fine. So yeah, that works for me. We'll see how it works in game, but I think it'll work. So let's do this. We need some. I give myself a command block, please. Give this player Minecraft command block. Haha. Why you? It wanted to block that for some reason, Reaper. The old one had overhang.
Probably YouTube and saying that word.
Yeah. Let's do impulse for now. And we're gonna do /summon Reaper. tilde 1 tilde tilde. He's just playing the game. Challenge him to a duel and kick his butt, blue one. Okay, so we summoned it, but we have it in piece 1. There we go. So now if we do repeat and go like that, we get a shower of XP coming down. And that's a problem, the XP on top of it, isn't it? The alternative to that would be to place your XP collectors on the outside, which you might need to do anyway if you have a mob farm like Ghost. Oh, crash! Cool. Did not like me control clicking on that. That was cool. Right MBT. Yeah, so it's trying to write the MBT and there probably isn't any on this class. I've got something funky in it. Yeah. Okay. Really? Project Air Dog Machine Mod Talent. These XP collectors missing a mapping. Huh. Where the heck am I missing it at then? Let's do common proxy. I don't think it's in there. Yeah, it's nothing there. Server. Client proxy is just binding the special render. And this doesn't have a special render, so there's nothing to do. Huh. So if I do this for a conveyor, does it crash? The other thing I can do is on the conveyor, do a call hierarchy here. Create new entity in world and entity. New entity in world. Maybe because we had it running this whole time? Let's try that. Maybe it didn't have the mapping there. I thought we restarted it. We did. Well, while it's starting, let's go ahead and actually make it store the XP so that we can say we did something, I guess. Public. We'll call it a float double, not float double. Float EXP amount. But we're going to look at the XP orb entity first and look at its class. XP value is an integer in this case. Okay, we'll make it an integer, but I think we'll flow it. Let's take a look at my crate. Not in reserve. Yeah, that's it. It's an integer too. XP amount equals 0. And before we kill the thing, we go this dot XP amount equals entity. We need to cast the entity first. So entity if instance, really? If ints, really? Whatever, entity instance of entity XP orb. Then we say entity XP orb EXPO equals that type of entity casted, okay? And then we could say EXPO dot EXP amount get XP value XP value. Yep. Okay, so we're storing it in the block now. Clicked the wrong thing. We have no way of retrieving out of it yet, and that's okay. Thinking we can make a GUI that has like a button for 1, 10, 100, 1,000. Based on which button you click is how much experience points it gives you. Still too close to it. It's like overwriting it. Wait, why is it not pulling XP in? This block's driving me nuts, guys.
I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
It's finished.
Why is it not working now? What did I change? I changed this. This has nothing to do with it moving. It's only happening on the server too. The heck? I just went to peaceful, didn't I? Yeah, it's not getting called at all. Oh. Did it break the tile entity in that spot? I bet it did. So set block, utility, machine mod, ex machine, exp, collector, 1, 2. Now it's trying to run. Okay. Cool. Let's give it a bunch of XP. Okay, and then we'll go down into, say, here. Put a breakpoint. We'll run this. Okay, and we will check the XP amount. It's still at 0. Oh, that was probably on the client. That's probably why. Yeah, 189. So the client and the server are desynced right now. That's fine. We don't need to sync that actually because we're not going to render it anywhere except for inside the GUI. So this would actually work if this was all blocked off, of course. So the XP couldn't escape.
Quick question.
Slow answer.
Fast response. Have you ever played a game called Cross Out?
Cross out? I don't believe so.
Okay.
What's it about?
Crossing out. The
Cross?
people.
Huh?
It's kind of like Robocraft, but realistic.
Ooh. Wait, I think I know what you're talking about. I haven't played it, but I've seen it on there. It's like you build your own robot, right?
Yeah.
With-
It's more like a machine though.
But it's like, yeah, and it's better graphics than Robocraft by like
Yeah.
power of 10 or something.
I keep seeing it, and yesterday I was like, finally, I was like, I'm gonna download and play that.
Fun?
I don't know, I haven't downloaded it yet.
Oh.
I've been busy.
So you were all talk and no play.
Yep. I'm like downloading it right now.
That's
Just to check it out.
an interesting observation. What if we did that? So it pulls the XP towards it, but it doesn't check to see if it's an air block between it and the XP orb. So what does that do?
Hey, you made a churro.
Yeah.
Does XP despawn?
Does, yeah.
Okay, good.
So again, this is not intended to keep XP by it. It's supposed to get up close to it and absorb it.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it gets like obstructed, then XP's gonna like accumulate.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
So like there, it absorbed all that XP already. If I come here so that it gets close enough to it, it absorbs it.
I like that it kind of, once it gets close enough, it kind of funnels in. It does like a little spiral and then funnels in.
Yeah, the little shaky back and forth thing is completely unintended.
It's like a.
Yeah.
You should make it have that sound.
Nom 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 nom. Every time it gets one. Nom 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 nom.
Every time it gets 10 levels. We'll make that num 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 num.
Now, what I'm a little concerned about is eventually it's probably possible to overflow the integer value. The number gets too big for the computer to handle, basically. And when that happens, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna go negative or something.
Is it storing stuff that is it storing the numbers like the normal like levels? So it's like
No.
1,000 levels is like an infinite amount of ores, or is it actually just keeping the ores itself?
So each little chunk on your bar that that moves is a number. That's what it's keeping, not the levels. It's keeping each individual XP orb's value and adding them up. So it's a much bigger number than 30 if you're at 30 levels, right? It's probably like 30,000 or something.
You could always have it so it's connected to a compressor, and it just compresses it into blocks. It shoots the blocks.
What blocks?
Turns the XP into blocks of XP.
Oh.
No.
I was thinking once it gets to a certain point, I just have another energy that increases, and it can do math to figure out how much it has.
Yeah.
So like for every 10,000, it increases another digit, or every 100,000, or whatever the max number of integer is. Max number of an integer is very, very big in Java. It's probably like 32 million or something. I guess I could do that too, is see if we're like 100 off that max number or something and stop. Or some logical number. Stop sucking up XP and everything. Because if it doesn't stop, what's going to happen is it's going to overflow the last bit and make it a negative.
And you'll lose all that XP.
Lose all that XP and have to run so much XP through it to make it positive again.
Oh god. But will it go -1, -2, -3, or will it just go?
It should
Starting
go
from
from
the
like
opposite.
32 million, whatever the max is, to negative 32 million. And then
Will
you
be
add
able
1
break
to it.
and restart it?
Yeah, you could break it and restart it, that'd work. Unless I do something silly like try and give you the XP that it's got stored in it when you break it, which would be ridiculously stupid of me because
No.
that would just get some light in there.
That's a good way to crash the server or lag the crap out of the person.
It sucks up XP at a ridiculous rate. Okay, let's put a lever on this. Because I'm going to basically be spawning creepers as fast as they can spawn out of this command block. And all that XP is going to drop down there, and it's sucking it all up except for what lands on its roof. Well, except for what's falling outside of the thing too, I guess. I think I need to stop that for a moment. 600 entities in my world. Uh-oh.
When don't you bring the spawning thing lower down?
I'm just gonna build a wall up so they stop falling outside of it.
Shouldn't the XP spawn underneath though, not on top?
It spawns on top when the entity dies, and then the shredders try and pull it underneath, but it was getting thrown outside for some reason. Like, because there's too many creepers there. Okay, let's clean this up. Gee, if we only had a device that could clean this up for us. Here, suck it all off me.
Vacuum cleaner turns it into exploding bombs.
There we go. I just bring it to me, It goes to me and it goes into the machine.
That works.
Ah, Cooper. Okay, that's all of it. Now it's getting lots of XP.
Do those XP work like entities? If they're within the block, they'll push each other? Or would it just keep accumulating them on top of the...
It'll keep accumulating on top, I think. So ideally, we would have hoppers in there for one thing, because there's probably 400 stacks of gunpowder or something silly in there now. But also, that thing probably wouldn't be inside the building. Or a player would be standing nearby that would suck it off the edge like it is there. It's going off the edge because of me.
Oh.
I might add something to check up for XP above it and pull it off one direction.
No, 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 no.
Actually, let's just do this. This will fix it. Where does it need to go? This. 1.5. Aw, really?
Are you just changing the radius?
Yeah. But look, it's like, it's all centered it now in the middle of the block and not going around.
So it's sucking it downwards, but it's not bringing it down?
It's sucking it down, but it's hitting the block, so it can't go down into it.
Hmm.
Let's make it back to 1.
Maybe make that top one not have a hitbox.
Maybe.
Or can you like make it triangular? Or would it be cone shape?
I don't know. I never tried that. Hey, Platinum Aether. Yeah, it's an XP collector. We're just testing out how it's absorbing it. We found an issue where it can pile up on top of it. Trying to figure out the best way to handle it. People are throwing ideas at me. I love that I put those little nubs on all 4 sides. Because, like, it just happens that's where it's going. See, if I'm within range, the XP clears off. How many, like, has to be a crazy number of stacks of gunpowder in there already. Some light in there.
I mean, you could either change the top one so it has like a cone hitbox so it just slides off. Or you can add another suction area.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could do, instead of suction it, it can push it so it blows on it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
And once it's like moving, it just once it's done moving, it's just, it won't even look like it's getting pushed. It just looks like it's naturally falling.
Like, even with me being this close, you'll see that it's moving towards me gradually. and that's causing it to fall off the side and just go down. So that's all we need to do is just give it a gradual motion on the top of it, and it'll be fine. So I need to do this. Take this
You're gonna
basic
make
code.
the top make it out of ice, so it's slippery.
Do this. So set a bounding box that is this block position, but up and up again. So up 2. And we're gonna grow it by 1. We gotta get this in here. Call it bounding box 2.
I was gonna say that eagle, but I just assumed he already had like a
What's that?
place
We
you
need to
could
make
put a
it so you
lever
can
and
turn it on and off. Yeah, that's relatively simple so that you can turn it off, but why would you want to turn it off if there's XP in the area too?
So you can you can pick it up yourself, which is kind of inefficient because if you can have it that if you right click it and take the XP would be more efficient.
And
You should have it so
not powered there. So
you
it's
should have
powered.
it so I think it'd be funny if you have it like a lever, turns it on, sucks, and then when you turn it off, it just does the opposite. It just goes,
Explodes all the XP out of it.
but
Releases
not
it all.
Of it. Not all of it. Just like a couple ores and just, and it'll take a second or two, and it'll just go again. We'll just spit out.
So let's grab this code. We'll make a top version of it. But how would that work on mending items? Oh, good grief. So it's going to give you XP. I don't know, we'll have to try it out. Let's answer it that way. Have to try it out. So we're gonna make our target be not the center of this thing. We'll make it +1. Where's our target gonna be? We'll make it one corner. There. We don't need to do any of this removing stuff because we don't need to check that. We don't care about that. We do need to do the moving stuff. We don't need to move the Y, but we will. And that should be it. Let's rerun it again. So this is probably going to be it for me tonight, guys. What I'll do is, we'll test this first, of course, make sure it works. But if it does, then tomorrow, I guess, we'll work. What is tomorrow? Tuesday? Yeah, tomorrow we'll work on adding the GUI, which will give you the XP.
What's the GUI? That's the XP?
It's so you can get XP out of the device. So all blocks that you right click on and it shows you a menu, that's a GUI. So like a crafting table, a furnace, those have GUIs. Graphical user interfaces. GUI. GUI. Okay, it's no longer picking up anything. We broke it completely. Cool. And we need to just go ahead and hit escape before it breaks the game. Bounding box 2. And it is not powered, right? That wasn't it. We need to get this to work. Oh boy. It's gonna crash the game. So we're setting a bounding box. Setting a second bounding box. We're getting the entities in the list from the first bounding box, processing them in the list, which will do all this. Then on that second list, we're getting list, and we're saying process it. Let's get rid of this because apparently that could be what's wrong. Hey, it's probably not a powerful block or something. Okay, it's still not doing it. I don't get it. Unless it's because that tile entity didn't save again. Oh boy, I don't want to go in there. Let me turn this off. No. Come on, I'm almost there.
You can do it.
Oh. My frames!
Punch it.
I can't. Kill at A. Kill everything! All the XP orbs and everything. Even me.
Isn't that a different?
I don't know. Kill all the creepers at least. Hey, we're not in that spot. Okay, if we find that spot though, we're gonna get complete lag. Yep, found it. Kill at E then. That'll kill the orbs. Nah, I just need to get to it before it gets too many. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, so why isn't it doing it? That's the big question.
Maybe it's full.
Nah. Oops, not 3. Also not 2. Might be centered on the block, which I can't see it. Boom, sucked up all the XP off me. That's what it was. The tile entity wasn't there. Okay, we'll have to figure out why it's disappearing. Probably didn't register something. Where? I don't know. So, is it going to get any XP on top of it? Yes. Oh yeah, there's a bug sound effect for the equipment. What are you talking about? It is moving it to the corner, but we need to get the 0 fall distance stuff. 0 motion stuff disappeared. Or we need to go like 0.1. See. Come on, get off the edge. Heck. Don't move in the Y direction at all. Oh, I can see it happening. It's like a box is forming right there. That's funny. So we do want the Y motion then. I think it's okay. If you go into your game settings, then activate to show equipment, it shows up as a block. What? Options? You mean the sound stuff? Subtitles? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, so I didn't know that machine subtitle engine. So I need to translate it. It's just not localized. Machine mod subtitle. So that would be in this file down here. What's it, maybe sounds? Sounds.machine mod. What was it? Subtitle. Engine rev. Engine idle. Idle. There we go. And then F3T to take up the change. Did I save it? Did. Hello.
Hello.
Once it loads, fingers crossed. It doesn't work still. Yeah, I'll have to figure that one out. I don't know what the syntax should be, but I'm pretty sure that's the cause. Missing a mapping. Yeah, something's wrong with this thing. Hey! Thank you for the subscription, Superior Potato. Just in time, man. Just about to stop.
I thought you were going to say just in time. I needed money for
You don't get paid for subscriptions on YouTube.
Yeah, you get paid for views. Get it right.
Not anymore. YouTube put a stop to that.
Really? What do you get paid now for? Do you even get paid?
Nope. Only time that I see anything is if somebody were to donate.
Wow.
So wait, what about bigger YouTubers? Do they get...
Bigger YouTubers get ads. Ad revenue.
Oh, so ads is the only way they get paid now?
Yeah, they can. There's some other things if they're big enough too. That's the main thing. I'm missing a mapping somewhere, it says, and I need to figure that out. But not for now, guys. I gotta stop. It's getting late. So, good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for subscribing. I'll catch you next time. Bye.